our next session. Last time what we did with you was we added create, read, update, delete for articles, and we also added the file upload. And we have been focused on the locked-in state for quite a while, and we actually forgot about the end users. And the end users are the most important ones. So one of the things that you need to know is how to integrate a template in Laravel. Because as you know, it depends how things look like. And if the things look good, then it's easy to sell them. So what we are going to do now is we'll go fetch one page template. And this template could be downloaded for free. It's part of this site, one page worth. There's lots of templates. It doesn't matter where you're going to download the template. The important thing is that you will need a template. So I am downloading this for free. And if I download the file and go to the actual folder and open the folder, you see that there's one page version. And if I open the template, this is how it looks like. Let me open it with a different browser. Yeah, it should be this one. And actually, I'm missing another thing, which is I do see the file. And I should be able to open it. And it says that it's missing some of the elements, yeah, which is expected and normal. So what I'm going to do is I will get this, go one step back, and in here, there should be a way for me to open and then copy, and I will actually move this to a different place. Let's say that I'm moving this to C, then XAMPP, then htdocs, and I have opened the fun folder here, which means there are exercises, and I'll just paste it just for now. So we could use it. So it's done. I should be able to see this template here. And if I am seeing the template there, this means that I should be able to open the files as well. And now I have the template. So this is how the template looks like. I'll open it in a different browser because it's easier for me. So let's just open it here. And if I inspect the files, what do I see? I have a menu like this, you see? I have containers, we have the menu start, menu end. And if I start just, you see we have a lot of sections. And the good thing is we have also footer in here. Let's see, yeah, footer. And then this is the footer start. So this means that it starts from here. So we have a footer. We have the footer copyright, which is based on the template. We're not going to remove that. And then we have a lot of sections. So this is a good template that could be used. What we are going to do now is we will move this template, the way it looks, here. So how we are going to do that? In order for us to do that, we need to add a new template in resources, views, and then layouts. So I'm opening now, let me close everything from the last time. So resources, views, and then I'm creating a new folder, which will be layouts, because usually there might be more than one layout. And then I'm adding a new file in there, which is called app.plate.php. So we have already created this new file. Once we have created that file, we are going to make a new controller, which is the index controller. So we are saying PHP artisan make controller, and I want this controller to be the index controller. When I have said this, it will make a new controller for me, and it created a new controller under controllers table, and this is my index controller. The next thing that I'm going to do is I will add a method to that controller. What is that method with? If you check the method, you see that usually we need to get some data and pass it to the view. But in here, we are saying, hey, Please return index view. This is the title. There is some HTML, as you could see, it's for ipsum, and an asset, some image. We imagine that this will come from the database. In our case, we don't care because we are currently integrating template. With this, we are just making sure that we have the data for that template. So the next thing that we need to do is to register our controller. Just to remind you, roots inside Laravel are, if I open roots folder, and then if I go to web.php, you see that under slash, it renders the view from welcome. So it says resources, views, and it will render this welcome blade, which is actually the this one here. So what we are going to do now? Well, if I go one step back and if I decide that I need to edit the roots, and if I go here to web, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use my newly created controller. So it's use app HTTP controllers, then index controller. And the next thing that I'm going to do is just switch the code here, saying that, hey, when you try to quote the root of the website, it will try to run this index HTML. So if I click refresh now, we'll get an error because we don't have that view file. You see, it says, hey, are you sure? Because index is not found. If I go to resources views and create a new folder called index, and inside that new index folder, create a new file, which is index.plate.php, and inside that file, create some paragraph. And if I refresh the page, then it will find it and it will return the text that I just added. So now, what do we have? We have a controller, which is returning some data, and then this is, and some view, which is rendered. So the controller is registered. What we are going to do now is we're missing the actual content of the file. What do we need to do to move that content? If I go one step back, open this big one-page template that we found out, and if I go again to resources, views, and then layouts, and if I paste this in app.blade.php, you see that's one hell of a template, which is a big one. This is not a good idea to have such things. So I will start just reducing the number of items we have in there. So we have we do, we have about the start, we have service, we have statistics, we have project start, we have team start, pricing start, testimonials, clients. Do you see how important it is to have some comments? It's really easy to navigate through it because just based on the comments, I just reduce them. And you see in here, it starts the footer and then it's new project. If I go one step back, we have the footer and then we have this new project, which means that this one, I don't need it. If I go one step back, we have the contact. I don't need it. We have book. I don't need it for now. We have clients. I don't need this one as well. We have some sort of testimonials, removing that. We have the pricing. I'm removing that. Then we have the team. I don't need the team section in my project. I don't need the project section. I don't need the statistics for now. I don't need the services because it's based on icons. And then we have about controller and then some text. So, which is about us. About us section is good. And what we do, no, this is something that I don't need. And I don't need the header slider for now. So what I want to have is this as a template. So I have removed everything except this about us. So I have section ID home, and then it's about. If I do the same again, removing everything until I am next to about, and then starting from here until I am next to menu. So what I did was I removed actually everything. And now I have this app blade, which is actually containing the same that we have here. So I have reduced the HTML which I'm not going to use. And if I adjust the layout template, what I need to do is get this section about us. But I'll do one trick. I will get the text under the section about us here. If I expand it, you see that there's one div container. So if I cut this div container and paste it in my newly created index blade, this is the HTML here. Let me just make it more beautiful. Then I know that in here, I expect to all the content, which means that this is this section. Inside this section, I'll have the content of my website. And I'm saying yield, then content. I'm saying, hey, I'm screaming, please show me the content here. If I refresh the page, what will happen? You see a broken about us because we are missing the header and the footer. And if I inspect, I'm missing also a lot of resources. So it's expected not to work. This is good. The next thing that I'm going to do, if you are interested about yield, you could find it in the documentation. Actually, there are two important things that you see now. One of them is yield. The other one is extents and section. So if I follow the tutorial and create the view for the index controller and then edit that, we created this with you just for to show you. But if I edit this views index blade, let me paste it. What we are doing here is we're extending the layouts.app. So we are saying, hey, we're extending layouts.app. We're extending this file. And then we are saying the section content is this. And if I check the app blade, we're expecting a content to happen and to be shown. So with this extents, you could have a really flexible structure. So this means that you could have the menu in different file, you could have the home header in different file, you could have the footer in different file, and then you have a really good layout, which is extremely clean, and it will be really easy for you to manipulate that. Then you could have different sections, and then you could yield those sections in the places that you need them. So if I click refresh now, you see that I do have the template, but again, it's broken. Why it's broken? If I go to console, I'm missing all the assets. And if I go again to the console and go to network and refresh, you see that it's trying to load the assets, but it's trying to load them through the website, then assets and the name of the assets. So in order for me to have those assets available there, I'll do one simple trick. I will get the assets file. I have them in this already. I will copy them, and I will paste them under the public folder. Why I'm doing this? Because this is the public folder for Laravel, which means that everyone who is trying to access this, it will read from there. And nice. Do we have errors? No, we don't have errors. Do we have the assets? Yes, we do have the assets. And now we do have the page. And you see this is Laravel project about us, which is actually coming from here. And if I remove it and leave only this and refresh the page, it's updated. So we have a simple template allowing us to manipulate all of this. And the image file is actually here. But if I comment this, it will try to read it and it won't be available. And that's why we get an error, because we expect to have it here. But this is not a problem for us. We could easily edit this. So how could we edit this? For example, title is showing the text without after escape. This here is showing the HTML from here without escaping. The title is being escaped. So even if I add like this, it won't show it as an HTML. It will show it as a simple text. That's really important, because if you rely on data coming from the client, you should always escape it. So we need to fix this check here so it works. And how is the fix? Well, I'll just remind you, we use this interface, and I'm going to use it the same here. So we are checking, hey, if this, just render, and this means if image URL is available, then please show it. Otherwise, please don't throw an error, because we don't want to have errors. You see, it's not loaded, but it's not showing an error. And again, the text here is escaped. But if I change it to be with the different format, then we'll have the paragraph in there. But I don't want the paragraph. I don't want to break the design. So I'm going one step back. I'm removing this as data and leaving the image URL. And if I refresh the page again, you see, we have everything. Some things that you might notice. In here, it says the name of the template in this. And in the old file, which was under resources, then welcome, we had a different head title. It had Laravel, and it was just hard-coded. But you could work and check how to export this and have a different name. Just for the sake of this test here, inside the head title, I'll just write Laravel and leave it up to you to check how you could make this dynamic. So this is how this tutorial ends. You see the result. You saw how to integrate the file. Again, you need to split it more, but you know how to split it now because you could use extend and section. So good luck.